Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Hope you're having good time with your family and friends and liking these sessions. In today's video on Azure, I'm here to show you how you can configure Defender for Cloud for SQL database and how this service can help protect your database from any cybersecurity threats. Before we proceed, if you're liking these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content. So let's get started. First of all, with what kind of SQL it can help protect you from. First of all, Defender for Cloud for SQL can be utilized for if you have SQL database on Azure VM. So if you're utilizing this as an infrastructure as a service, you can utilize this. If you have SQL database as a service, it means if you're having PaaS offering like single database, managed instance, elastic pool, you can use Defender for Cloud. Even open source database can be utilized too. We can utilize this service for protecting my on-prem SQL, and also we can utilize this for Cosmos DB. So all these options are possible. Now the other question arises how it can protect me from these cybersecurity threats. First of all, it will scan your database and trying to find out any security vulnerability that might be attached to that SQL database. So it will do the scanning, and this scanning is done every 12 hours. And though you can also manually start the scan, but this scanning will be done every 12 hours, and it will help you to discover and mitigate any security threats that might be associated with that SQL. Secondly, it helps you from any advanced threats that you typically associate with SQL database. For example, SQL injection, brute force attack, and any privilege abuse. Defender for Cloud for SQL will help you protect it from. Now, for today's lab, I'm going to use a SQL database as a service. The name of the database is DemoDB. And before I move further, let me just first flip over to the Azure portal and show you how you can enable this service. So let's go to the portal. I'm logged into the Azure portal with my admin credential, and this is a SQL database that I have. So it's running on a logical server, which is the name demo server 108. And in this demo server, I have SQL database with the name demo DB. Now, if you want to enable this, you can enable this by going under the security and enable that. But I'm going to go specifically for Defender for Cloud. And under Defender for Cloud, under Management, I have the environment setting. And in this, I only have one subscription, so I'm going to go and open it up. And as you know that Defender for Cloud comes with different kind of workload protection, such as server, app service, storage, which we saw in our last video. In today's demonstration, we are talking about the databases, so I'm going to go and expand that. And here you can see I have for Azure SQL, SQL Server on Machine, open source, and Azure Cosmos DB. So in this case, we're talking about database as a service. I'm going to go and enable this, and let's go and click on continue. So you can see that was enabled, and let's go and click on the save button. All right, so Defender for Cloud for SQL database was enabled. So let me go and flip over to the SQL database as a service. Now, if I go and expand this and go under Microsoft Defender for Cloud, you can see I have enabled that at the subscription level. And now my database will be protected against any vulnerabilities and also protect me from any advanced threat kind of attack. For example, the one that we discussed, like brute force attack, SQL injection, those kind of security implication. Now, but the problem which arises, I think, from the demonstration perspective that I've seen is, as a security admin, how you want to assess what are the security capabilities of this service. In this case, we're talking about Defender for Cloud. That's where sample alerts can come into play. So you want to understand, right, what are the features associated with this service. And I think sample alerts are great resource in case you want to get insight into, let's say, any potential security issue. And I'll show you how you can configure that for the testing purpose. Also give you understanding of alerting mechanism, because that's critical step in safeguarding your environment, and also information about fine tuning your security policy, right? So these are all components, and in case you want to maybe uh, prove a point to your company why you need this service, sample alerts can definitely come handy for you, and you can utilize this from the portal just to understand how this entire service work and what is the different steps involved when it comes to mitigating these kind of risk. And also part of this, you can also configure something what you call suppression rule. And as you know that if you're dealt with any security kind of products, not all kind of alerts, and in certain cases they are not relevant for your organization, and sometimes they're also false. Now with suppression rules, it will help you to reduce these kind of false alarms, so you can focus on, let's say, only critical issues as a security admin. So you can create these rules so that you don't need to worry about these alerts which are sometimes generated by these kind of tools which are not relevant for your organization. And that's also a critical part of any security practice that you want to implement in your organization. So let me go to the portal and show you where you can find the sample alerts, and also part of that you can also see the suppression rule. Now if I go back to my Defender for Cloud, on the left side of the blade, as you can see under Cloud Security, and actually under Overview button, I have the security alerts. And here I have this button for sample alert. And this is across all the workloads which Defender for Cloud can help you protect from. Now for this example and for this demonstration, I'm going to use only Azure SQL database. And let's go and enable this and create some sample alerts. So you see, as part of these alerts were generated by Microsoft. And this is how you're going to see in case some real kind of scenario happens. So you can see the severity over here. You can see the alert name. The affected resource in this case is a sample database and the resource group which is associated. It also gives us a timestamp, but let's go and expand one of them to see what details that we get. We can get the view full details over here, and as part of any remediation or you want to do more investigation, this is going to be critical information that you can utilize. So you can see the client application that was affected, what is the client IP location. So in this case, this is generated by Microsoft because this is sample alert. You can see over here the data center that was used in this case, and you can also get information about what kind of attack we are talking about. Client IP address, that's also going to be critical because we can utilize this information to block any attack from this IP address. Not only that, it also gives us information about what actions we want to take. So under the take action category, it is asking us to mitigate the threats by tightening the firewall settings around my SQL database, and I can also use some sort of automation. Like for example, if I have logic app configured, I can put conditions and add steps in case some sort of brute force attack is detected. I can create logic. And now in my case, I don't have any logic app configured, but you can definitely utilize and create a workflow. And you can also, as I mentioned, you can create suppress alerts. Now, definitely in case of brute force kind of attack, you don't want to suppress it because it's very critical, and it can be it won't be good for your database and your application associated. So definitely you want to take care of it. But in case there are certain alerts which are generated which are not relevant for your organization, you can also create suppression rules over here. You can create it custom depending upon what kind of type, whether it's for Azure resource or specific IP. You can give the rule name. You can keep the state as enabled or disabled. And you can also put a time span on when these rules get expired. So all this is also possible under the take action, and you can create these suppression alerts. And also as part of this configuration, you can also configure the email. So the email will be sent to any concerned person who is managing this database or anything to do with the security of your organization. For example, in this case, all user with the following rule, like the users who have the owner rule, they will get an email in case this kind of attack or alert is generated. But you can also specify in case you want to send this notification to account admin, service admin, contributor. You can also add, let's say, an additional email as part of this configuration. And depending upon the kind of alert it is with high, medium, or low category. You can specify. So in my case, I want to send notification to these people if it has a high severity, and also notify me about the tag depending upon whether it's critical, high, medium, low. So by default, it's critical, which is okay with me. And I'm going to click on the save button. So with this, email notification is also configured. But this gives you an idea about how, in case of attack, the steps that you can take and what is the experience like when you configure that from the portal experience, and also how you can build automation by utilizing maybe logic app, function app, or also maybe integration with some other third party services or security tools, or even Azure native tools such as Sentinel, which is a SIEM and a source solution. So this was a quick overview on how you can use Defender for Cloud for protecting your SQL database as a service. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.